taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are
Tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You Who touched one of mine, you done? They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of every.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr.A_Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay? Don't come in here being rude and disrespectful, arguing back and forth in the chat, or any of that. Just leave. All right. So, with that all being said, hello, Overthought, Samantha, above all that drama, Deronda, Nessie X, that Crazy Beach Aries, About Damn Time, Stacy Quentin, Cherokee Descendant Dale, Eric Green is in the house, Sandra, OG Patrice is here, 504 Nola, Miss AP, Pensy Lola, Hot Coco. All right. Shout out to my loyal royals in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators for putting in work. I see you, Antoinette and Darnell, Deronda, all hell no. So let's get into it. We don't have time to tarry because we have another very important broadcast coming up right after this on the same channel. We have to talk about Kamala's new, her latest interview. And then also Tim Walz is apparently the subject of Russian disinformation. Now I have to ask myself, is this what Hillary Clinton was talking about when she said there's going to be something coming out in October? And we're going to get into it. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get this party started. And so, first things first. Now, for those of you who missed it, when I went over the lawsuits, let me pull this up. For those of you who missed it when I went over the lawsuits, they've broken this down into several articles. Now, Diddy accused of rape after party with Lil' Kim, Mary J. Blige, and Nicki Minaj. Okay, so a woman has alleged that she was raped by Diddy after being lured by the shamed music mogul to a party attended by Mary J. Blige, Lil' Kim, and Nicki Minaj. Now, the 2014 party took place at the Los Angeles poolside spot club Rehab, and the alleged rape took place at an after party. Okay, and this was a suite that they had at the Hollywood or at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. And so while there is no suggestion that any of the named celebrities were present at the after party, where the woman alleges she was plied with date rape drugs such as GHB, the accusation will focus attention again on how Diddy allegedly used his celebrity connections and his powerful friends to groom his victims. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the alleged use of a date rape drug is also significant, as the lawyer for another victim, Ashley Parham, told the Daily Beast that she believed she was incapacitated by being drugged with adulterated baby oil, a GHB that, as GHB can press through the skin. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this because this is all very interesting because you see, this is going to be mentioned in that nefarious letter that Marc Agnifilo, Diddy's main lead criminal defense attorney, wrote to the judge. How did he went all in? Clearly, he's headed up to here with the foolishness, okay? All of us people on social media, specifically YouTube creators, telling all these stories. And then you have these attorneys of the accused coming out here and they have things to say too. And he, quite frankly, is fed up and he wants everybody to shut the hell up at this point. We're going to get into the letter in a moment because when I read it, I was like, honey, he's not playing games. Okay, so anyway, let me put on my spectacles. As you may know, I don't like wearing my glasses, but anyway, I digress. So in the new lawsuit filed by attorney Tony Busby on Monday, the unnamed woman alleges on Memorial Day weekend of 2014, she visited Los Angeles where she stayed at Hotel Rio. On the hunt for cool parties to attend, she contacted an acquaintance known as International Smooth. Now, for those of you that saw my broadcast, I did show a picture of whom I believe is, in fact, the International Smooth that she is talking about, because he's on several pictures with Diddy, Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, and also Lil Kim, and all of that. And he was basically praising Diddy, even though all of these nefarious things have come out against him. So I believe that's exactly who she was talking about. All right. So Smooth invited plaintiff to an exclusive party at Las Vegas's popular poolside lounge called Club Rehab. Now, at the party, the woman met many celebrities, including Mary J. Blige, Lil Kim, and Nicki Minaj, and was also introduced to Diddy, who greeted her and said he hoped that she had a lot of fun at the party. After the party at Club Rehab died down, the Jane Doe was invited by Smooth to an after party at Combs' suite at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. Now, according to the suit, while there, the plaintiff said she spoke to Combs and he directed her to a bar area with tens of dozens of open bottles of his Ciroc branded vodka. Okay, he told her to grab a bottle and help herself. Y'all remember all this. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. So basically, she drank something, started feeling woozy, dizzy, all of that. Started feeling confused and hazy, went to go lie down because Smooth, International Smooth, told her there's a room. You can go in there and lie down. Nobody's going to bother you because the door is going to be locked. Now, I'm going to tell you like this, just me, the last place I want to be is locked inside of a room in a home that I'm not familiar with, or, someone else's hotel suite or any of those kind of things. But goes on to say that plaintiff was horrified to realize that she was raped by Diddy, because remember, she woke up, Diddy was standing in the room with her. He was the only one there, and she was in pain and all of that, didn't have any clothes on, and Diddy was standing there talking to someone on the phone. Okay, so she found her belongings, including her dead cell phone, and made her way back to the Hotel Rio where her friends were waiting. The alleged victim returned to her hotel where she ended up sleeping for 2 entire days. He really had drugged her up good, allegedly. Okay, she only remembered vague glimpses of her friends trying to wake her up and offer her water. It's like she was in a fog, I'm sure. Okay, now afterwards, her friends told her that they did their best to take care of her during this time, but she was largely incoherent. Representatives for Diddy have been approached for comment by the Daily Beast. His attorneys have previously denied that he has ever assaulted anyone, adult, minor, man, or woman. Okay? So anyway, Diddy said he didn't do it. He said he didn't do it. Now, let's get into what this attorney had to say on TMZ about Diddy and these nefarious. Everyone, please like and share. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to listen to a little bit of this, and then we have to hear what they're saying on News Nation with Chris Cuomo. Okay, so everybody please get those likes up. Thank you in advance. Let me get my overlay up here because y'all know TMZ does not play. Okay.
The criminal side is very, very different. But on the civil side, there are way more. I mean, there are hundreds of lawsuits now, and that they don't necessarily align with the federal a federal prosecution. So it's a money game when it comes to civil, and that's why the plaintiff's lawyers are saying, "Hey, you settle now, or we'll litigate later." And I mean, it's pretty simple what the celebrity is going to do, right?
Absolutely. It's reputational dynamite. You talk about whatever sort of goodwill you've built up from the public, whatever your brand equity is, just being blown to bits just in the release of your name as it relates to this. So this is undoubtedly an attempt by the lawyers on the plaintiff's side to try to get a settlement for their clients. And you do not want your name, you do not want your brand connected to this in any way, shape, or form. And if there's an exit ramp that involves writing a check, you can rest assured a lot of people are going to choose that route.
Yeah.
Evan, I just wanted to ask you something that we've been talking about for more than 6 months now. The silence that has really, we've noticed, has been so noticeable in Hollywood, that people who we've seen for decades, the people who partied with Diddy, I'm not talking about freak-offs, I'm talking about went to his very
White parties,
public parties, his white parties, and they have said nothing. From a crisis manager point of view? Is this something that you would say to your client, look, I know that you were friends with him, I know that you went to his parties. Are they being advised to just avoid this topic altogether? With like maybe 3 exceptions, nobody has said anything about Diddy, and people who we know Diddy.
I think it speaks to a strategy of being afraid to even get close to this because his brand is so toxic that no matter what you're saying, whether you're saying, first of all, I don't think anybody, including his former friends, are going to be saying nice things about him right now. But people who want to distance themselves, even the act of now speaking out, it's a self-perpetuating cycle. And you've had so few people saying anything that the moment you come out and you introduce yourself into the Diddy controversy, you're putting a lot of damage on yourself and there's no real upside. And so I think a lot of people are taking a wait and see approach and they're hoping to keep themselves out of this to the maximum extent possible.
And that leads me to the last question, which is hoping to leave themselves out to the greatest extent possible. There's a federal prosecution where the feds have seized videos involving these freak-offs. And, in one of our documentary that is coming up, we spoke to somebody who said there were more than 100 people at the one she was at. And 4 celebrities that she knew of. And so it must panic a lot of people in Hollywood that they may play these videos in open court. And even if a celebrity isn't engaging in the misconduct that they're alleging against Diddy, just being there in the middle of what they're seeing.
Talk about collateral damage.
Yeah. It's going to be devastating.
When you're talking about allegations involving drugging and raping men and women, this is the most toxic stuff imaginable. And so I'm not surprised that no one wants to be connected to this. I think we have not yet seen the other shoe drop. My prediction is you're going to see a lot of celebrities who, even though they're doing the best that they can to avoid this topic, ultimately there are going to be other people named, even if they just were there, present, not necessarily that they engaged in any alleged conversation or the alleged actions. Just wait. There's going to be a lot more to come on this topic. You guys are going to be very busy for a long time, I suspect.
Yeah. Okay, Evan.
All right.
We so appreciate you coming on.
So I guess you all heard that. Yeah, a lot of these people are going to be embarrassed, and as they should be, because if you were there witnessing any of these horrific things that have been alleged, then you deserve whatever you get. Okay, at the end of the day. Now, if you were there and you left before anything happened, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have anything to worry about. Okay, but if you were there and you saw these things going on, for example, I want you all to think about this. Now, of course, they claim that Diddy had these SEX rooms, okay, that people would go in to do the do or whatever. But let's not forget that in the lawsuits, some of the lawsuits, at least specifically one that I remember, and that was the one with the 13-year-old, she said that she grabbed her things. She couldn't find her things, but she grabbed whatever she could find in some flats or some sliders or whatever, if you recall. And she said she ran naked through there and then outside and got dressed. So you mean to tell me that nobody saw a 13-year-old? And I'm sure she looked about a teenager. Even if she didn't look 13, they had to have known she was under 18. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it that a 13-year-old looked like an adult. So that all being said, whoever was there when she ran through that room or that house or whatever, those people need to be held accountable, because why didn't anyone try to see if she was okay? Okay, I'm sure they could see she was in distress if these allegations are true, because she went to a gas station and the person there clearly knew she was in distress, so much so that they allowed her to use the phone to call a ride. That's right. Exact says guilty by association. Exactly. That's exactly what that is. Okay. The classic one says different rooms and different floor levels, they say, okay, and tunnels and everything else. All right, it's all nefarious, is all I'm saying. So with that all being said, let's hear what Chris Cuomo had to say about all of this, and then we're gonna get into this letter, this scathing letter by Diddy's attorney, honey. He's not playing games with y'all. Y'all better quit talking all that stuff about Diddy and having all these nefarious conspiracy theories about baby oil and all that stuff, because they're not having it, people. Okay, you're all going to have to shut your mouths when this gag order gets through. Okay, because he's not having it. He wants everybody on mute. Please pay attention, honey. This is all so hilarious. Okay, here we go.
To say women and men. The Washington Post just ran a headline which read,
Now, before this gets started, let me just remind you guys. OG Patrice said whoever worked at the gas station that let her use the phone will more than likely be her witness. Hopefully, if they can find that person. Okay, absolutely. Your son said truth or a lie on mute. Okay. Miss J said Diddy shouldn't have done it. Exactly. If it's all true, he shouldn't have. So with that all being said, now we're going to listen to this, but I just want to remind you guys, okay, remember timestamps tell the story. Remember who was the first one. That crazy bitch Eric said, I can't with you, Queen. Remember who was the first one. You heard it here first. I told you guys very early on that the men were going to start coming out filing lawsuits next. Okay, and now here we are. Months later, first it was Lil Rodney Jones, and now you have a whole slew of men. Just like I predicted, I told you they're going to be coming out of the woodwork because I absolutely knew as zesty as Diddy is, of course there was going to be men that he did things to. Allegedly, Diddy maintains his innocence. Please pay attention. This is all strictly for entertainment purposes.
he's right to say women and men. The Washington Post just ran a headline which read, growing number of men accuse Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault. 8 of the recent 13 suits against Combs have come from young men. Some claim they were even minors at the time. One of these alleged victims claims Diddy and several high-profile celebrities forcibly raped him at a freak-off party. These lawsuits have led to a broader conversation about the music industry, really twofold. One is there an almost like power and control through sex dynamic in hip hop? And does it involve people not just as victims, but those at the top and those who had to go through it to get to the top? Ray J knows not just Diddy, but the business and the culture. He joins us now. It's good to see you again.
What's up, Chris?
So, Ray J, help us understand the uninitiated, the idea of consenting adults, males, straight males, being victimized or agreeing to have sex with other men as part of an industry. You believe that that is a possibility?
I think it's a fact. I think it's a fact that's been going on. I was born in 81, but it's been going on, especially at least since the 90s, and that's just me knowing what it is. I'm not going to say seeing what it is, but having certain friends who has told me about this and what they do and why they do it, and still try to say that they don't really like it, right? It's a power trip, and it hits hard. It hits hard. And not only is it the truth, it's real hard. And there's no way to do this and to take somebody without their consent. And if that arouses you, then that must mean this is who you are. So you don't need to hide it. But at the same time, it's just all dark. I can't, everything that.
What the hell is Ray J talking about? Okay, it's giving Kabami vibes and word salad for me, guys. What is he even saying? Ray J, please get to your point, sir. If you were at Diddy's parties, just blink twice, okay? I mean, you don't have to sit here and spew word salads, all I'm saying.
They're saying about Diddy is alleged, but it's happening. It's happening in today's society, and it's not okay. And I'm not cool with it. And I've spoken on it. And I've even gotten upset a few times in the past on recent interviews and made threats that I would have somebody do that to somebody, right? That's how crazy my mind went just because of certain things that I'm from the West Coast, and you know, Death Row days was pretty crazy. And that's what was going on, you know.
Do you guys notice how confused? Okay, do you notice how confused Chris Cuomo looks at this point? Okay, I'm sorry, Ray J, please. Why is he on here? Because he's saying a whole bunch of nothing. Now he's bringing up death row and the good old days. Dude, hold on. Leon said he's talking crazy. God, you all are terrible. Miss AP said, Ray J, what happened to Whitney Houston? Okay, exactly. Inquiry Minds wants to know, what are you even doing up there, Ray J? Oh my goodness. But let's continue because this is all dreadful.
Growing up sometimes in this industry, it's messed up.
So what we're talking about is not men who are gay who don't want to be known as gay for whatever cultural or personal reason. You're saying that there are people that people know who are big stars who have been victimized or have had to consent to sexual acts that they didn't want to, but that's the way it is in the industry, even man on man, man on woman, woman on woman, that it could go any way.
It could go any way. And it's sad because, you know, you want to be in the entertainment industry, and if that's what you got to do, and that's not what you even like to do, and that's what you're made to do, it's insane. And it must be a crazy, like, mind trip, you know, after that happens. And I know a few celebs that have been in that kind of crazy situation, and they haven't been the same since. You know, it's like, ask what we could do for our country. Ask the country, like, or right now in this situation, I can't do that because all I would be thinking about is them thinking about my ass.
What the hell does him? Wait a minute. What? Did he literally just say, ask what I can do for my country? What's going on here? He's quoting JFK. I mean, I'm confused. Ray J, are you here to talk about Diddy and the men coming out against him with all of these nefarious allegations? Or are you here to talk about the good old days and what people can do for the country? Like, what is he even doing? But let's continue because hopefully he's almost done.
You know, it's just not okay. You know,
that is not okay.
I mean, if that's not what you with, right? And so, you know, again, we're in a crazy situation right now. It's a lot of people coming out saying a lot of things, even in that space. Who knows if that's true or not? But I can tell you this: what is true is that people are being taken, and it's not cool.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to join.nn.
Did anybody catch on to anything that he said of significance? I'm sorry, I'm confused still. Well, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of time. I didn't watch that video beforehand, and I thought Chris Cuomo was going to be giving his thoughts and possibly have another attorney on there. But Ray J coming on there spewing word salad, like, I'm so sorry you guys had to go through that. It was torturous. Okay. Ray J rubbed baby oil on himself before this interview. Okay, he did something. All right. This is all crazy. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, let's have a word from my sponsor, and then we're going to get into this letter. And everyone, please don't forget that I'm coming back right after this. We're going to talk about Kamala. Okay, moderators, please do me a favor. Moderators, could you please drop the link for the next broadcast in the chat? Do I even have any moderators right now? Do I even have any moderators in here, guys? I think I saw somebody. Above all that drama. Okay, yes, above all that drama, beloved, if you could please drop the link for the next live, that would be great. Okay, so let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get into this letter. Okay, because Marc Agnifilo said, y'all gonna learn today.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, and don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And also you can purchase it at Walmart.com. Okay, do you guys remember what Travis Scott said about Diddy?
It just has to be
Good idea.
I keep this Ciroc because I had this one nightmare that Diddy might just pop in my dressing room at any time of the
You
day.
have to have it.
And it just has to be
Good
okay.
idea.
Apparently everyone's scared of Diddy, but let's get into it. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please be sure to hit that like button. Let me see if the math is mathing. Okay, we have 421 people in the chat, 180 likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up. I'm going to sit here and wait for the likes to go up at least to 200. I'm going to sit right here and wait. I'm not going on any further. Y'all going to learn today. Y'all think I be playing, honey. I be working too hard, bringing too many receipts, okay? Bringing too many receipts. Y'all better start getting those likes up. As soon as the likes get up to 200, that's when we'll start back. And I have time today. I have time today. That's right. The likes aren't liking, says Deronda. Because if you don't like the video, why are you in here? Why are you watching? Just go somewhere else. All right? And let's see what's going on. Keep it going. Keep it going. DJ Big Six said, respect, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Y'all know I be working hard, honey. I be bringing y'all real receipts. Okay, I'm still waiting. I need a few more. We're at 199. Let's get a few more likes and then we'll get started. Y'all think it's a game? I'm going to show y'all's arses. I'm going to show y'all's arses. And my next trick that I'm going to pull out of my hats, okay, the next rabbit out of the hat trick is going to be that I'm going to put this chat the next time. That's right, Pearl said, give Queen her respect, please. Thank you. Because, I have people on here who be watching my videos and they're haters. They really don't like the Queen. They just be up in here hating. All right, but I'm not going for it. Okay, there we go. Now that's more like it. Okay, that's more like it. Terry Hen said, Queen is the queen of receipts. Thank you, beloved. Sophie B said, Queen, please excuse my lateness. I was late and didn't like right away. That's okay, beloved, as long as you did now. Okay, Miss AP said, Queen gonna have to start threatening y'all like Diddy did his employees. Exactly. All right, y'all don't want me to go there because I already told y'all days ago I will. Thank you. The classic one says, we appreciate your hard work. Thank you, beloved. Some of y'all do. Anita says, Queen, yes, you always. Hold on. I'm losing. And this chat's moving fast now. Hold on. Yes, you always working hard. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Desmond said, move in silence, Queen. Okay. Desmond, thank you for your advice and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. That crazy beach area said, Queen got that baby oil. Honey, no, the Queen don't, honey. Don't include me in Diddy shenanigans. Have nothing to do with any of it. Exact said, no real receipts nowhere else. Okay, thank you, beloved. Mr. Elevation says the Queen is petty and she will roast all of us. Y'all know I will. I'm so glad you know that, beloved, okay? Your son said, Queen, not the baby oil. Let me get started. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about it, honey, because like I told you guys, he wrote this letter to the judge, all right? I'm going to share my screen for a second so you all can see what I'm looking at, but I'm not going to keep this on the screen. Now, as you all can see, that's the letter right there. Okay, written to the judge. And I actually thought this was to Judge Furman, but this is to Judge Subramanian. Okay, so let's get into it because he's not playing games. Now, dear Judge Subramanian, We write on behalf of our client, Sean Combs, pursuant to Local Rule 23.1 and the Fifth and Sixth Amendments, to request an order prohibiting further extrajudicial statements from prospective witnesses and their lawyers that substantially interfere with Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. Now, please pay attention because he said the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. I've told you all that the Sixth Amendment, you have a right to confront your accusers. And in my opinion, they can't really shut everybody up. They can't, but they can shut those attorneys up. Okay. And I told you all that I really think that the attorney, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, who was initially representing Adria English until they fell out, she seems to be doing some clout chasing. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't have anything against her, but all those interviews that she's been doing as of late seems like a whole clout chase. Like, even more, like she's been out there more so than Gloria Allred. That's who I expected to continue to see. And so when as I'm reading this letter, I want you all to pay attention because Marc Agnifilo is referencing, he doesn't say their names, but the attorneys that he's specifically talking about, it's obvious to see, are Tony Busby, Gloria Allred, okay, and Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Because these are the ones that are coming out to the forefront, giving all these interviews and stuff. Y'all don't see Tyrone Blackburn Esquire out here doing any of this. Y'all don't hear from him. Okay. The only thing you hear from him is when one of his when he has a new client come out. But the rest of them are doing these media circuses. And like I told you guys, that whole thing with Tony Busby, he has legit cases and claims, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, he's clearly using numerology, okay, gematria, when he's talking about all these 12s. Okay, first he's got 120, and then the rounding off of the numbers is suspicious to me. And then 12,000 phone calls in 24 hours, and who's counting these phone calls? And then, like I told you guys days ago, when he came out talking about all these clients, and all these clients and all these stars, and he's going to name all these names and all this stuff, I told you guys he was basically doing the same thing that Christian Keys did with the whole situation when he said that he was being harassed. He never said who the person was, but guess what? All of a sudden that died down and got real quiet because whoever that person was must have given Christian Keys what he wanted. And so that went away. And so then Tony Busby comes out and says that some of these celebrities have quietly settled behind closed doors. See, that's what he was doing. That's what that was all about. And so now Diddy and his team basically think it's turned into a media circus, okay? A whole carnival. So he goes on to say, Mr. Combs has a constitutional right to a fair trial, free from the influence of prejudicial statements in the press. All right. And then he lists some cases that set precedents. For example, Shepard versus Maxwell. Okay. In 1996, holding the court's failure to alleviate issues of trial publicity by imposing control over the statements made to the news media by counsel. Okay, witnesses and especially police officers denied defendant his Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial. Okay, so legal trials are not like elections to be won through the use of meeting hall, the radio, and the newspaper. That's a case that was before this, okay, set precedents. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say the theory of our system is that the conclusions to be reached in a case will be induced only by evidence and argument in open court, and not by any outside influence. So basically, he's saying that when these attorneys are coming out here giving all this information, and do you all remember, I did ask you guys, I said, why do you think these attorneys are sitting here just giving all this information about the cases? Now, he's basically saying that when they're coming out here doing this, they're influencing how the public, but not only the public, potential jurors, okay, which could, in fact, stop him from getting a fair trial, is what he's essentially saying. Now, this is true. This is true. Now, we're not talking about people on social media at this point, but attorneys doing this is something totally different. Okay. Now, goes on to say that it should be induced only by evidence and argument in open court and not by any outside influence, whether of private talk or public print. There can be no question that a criminal defendant's right to a fair trial may not be compromised by commentary from any lawyer or party offered up for media consumption on the courthouse steps. That's what he says. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Now, to protect a defendant's constitutional rights, Courts have an independent obligation to avoid the creation of a carnival atmosphere. Okay, in high profile cases. Then he references another case, United States versus Smith, okay, 2013. Goes on to say that they find that in reference to Dow Jones and Company, the Second Circuit Court held that a gag order on trial participants is justified. Okay, if a district court finds that pretrial publicity posed such a threat to defendants' Sixth Amendment rights as to justify the restraining order, and that no other available remedies would effectively mitigate any prejudicial publicity. In high-profile cases, there is a particularly high risk of prejudice. Now, that too is also true because a lot of people love these celebrities. A lot of people might be hating on these celebrities, but at the end of the day, that's true. When it's a high-profile case, it's always best and usually protocol for the attorneys not to be saying too much in front of cameras or outside the courtroom. Now, the risk of prejudice to the fair administration of justice for a public relations battle is heightened in high-profile cases. He references another case, United States versus Bolger, 2013. Okay, goes on to say courts have found that heightened media scrutiny supports the conclusion that attorneys and parties should not make extrajudicial statements. And in cases that received far less press attention than this one, courts exercise their discretion to impose gag orders on the participants. So basically saying that, listen, even when there weren't high profile cases, even when it was just a regular case, if need be, the courts did at their discretion give gag orders and tell people to shut the hell up. Tell people they couldn't talk about it. Okay, specifically the participants, not talking about other people, but the people that are pertaining to the case that are going to be in the courtroom. They're not supposed to be saying all of this stuff. Is basically what he's saying. So goes on to say, in addition, local rule 23.1 independently applies to lawyers for witnesses, okay, in the government's investigation. Now, that rule right there basically says, Rule 23.1 basically says lawyers are not supposed to be out here running their mouths. Okay, the attorneys for witnesses in the government's investigation, they're not supposed to be out here just running their mouths, doing interviews, and giving all this information out to the public. That's what they're not supposed to do, according to Rule 23.1. This is what he's saying. He says, with respect to a grand jury or other pending investigation of any criminal matter, a lawyer participating in or associated with the investigation, including government lawyers and lawyers for targets, subjects, and witnesses in the investigation, shall refrain from making any extrajudicial statement. And emphasis is added. That's what he has in parentheses. Emphasis added. Like, we want to really reinforce this and drive this home. Presumptively, prejudicial statements include statements relating to the character or reputation of the accused, the credibility of prospective witnesses, information the attorney or law firm knows is likely to be inadmissible at trial and would, if disclosed, create a substantial likelihood of prejudicing an impartial trial, and any opinion as to the accused's guilt or innocence or as to the merits of the case or the evidence in the case. So basically, the lawyers are not only supposed to be not running their mouths in public, but they also are not supposed to be saying whether or not they think the person is guilty or innocent. That's basically what it sounds like he's saying. Now, Local Rule 23.1 also empowers the court to issue a special order governing such matters as extrajudicial statements by parties and witnesses likely to interfere with the rights of the accused to a fair trial by an impartial jury, if there are no other remedies available. So if there's no other way to stop them from running their mouths, the court needs to give a gag order, is what he's saying. Now, says, as the court is aware, Mr. Combs has been the target of an unending stream of allegations by prospective witnesses and their counsel in the press. Okay, so he says some have even peddled. Now, here's where he's talking about specifically Ariel Mitchell Kidd. in my opinion, because he says some have even peddled in outlandish conspiracy theories. Okay, in an interview, and he references where they did this at. It says Tom Sykes, and that was an article written by Tom Sykes for the Daily Beast. And it says the title is Diddy Spiked Baby Oil with Date Grape Drug. Accuser's attorney gave this information. Okay, and I do believe that that was Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Okay, because we heard her say this, and then it goes on to say, Diddy spiked baby oil with date grape drug, Ashley Parham's lawyer. Yeah, that was Ashley Parham's lawyer. That is Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Now, accuser's attorney claims that based on her research, baby oil can be used as a conduit for date drugs such as GHB or Rohypnol. So what he's saying is, not only did she come out and say that or imply that there was GHB in the oil, but she went and said she did research on it, and now she's saying it as if it's a fact. And the bottom line is, it hasn't been proven to be a fact. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to confuse anyone with the legalese. Your son said, we keep a bottle of baby oil, Diddy. Diddy got a lifetime supply. Okay. And so with that all being said, he's basically saying she's out here saying this stuff, talking about she did research. Do you see how this could prejudice a jury, potential jurors? Because if they're hearing this and they already think it's factual. But here's the bottom line. You know what hasn't happened? And I told you all this before. When everybody started saying at the early on stages after the baby oil was confiscated by the feds, everyone on social media, or not everyone, but many people on social media started saying that it had GHB in it. And I was the first one who said, well, listen, we don't know if it has that in it or not. People are saying that, but the feds have never said that. If there's a GHB in there, wouldn't the feds have tested it? Wouldn't they know? But then again, they could have tested it and just not told us. But the bottom line is the feds haven't said it. So it's okay for me to sit here on ScrewTube and say it at the end of the day, because this is all alleged. I'm not defending anyone. I have nothing to do with the case independently. I'm just giving my opinions and views. Now, with that all being said, these attorneys, they should not be out here saying that sort of stuff. That's basically what he's saying. And according to the rule of law, they're not supposed to be. Okay, so let's continue. He says, what's more, these lawyers have done the government's work for them, repeatedly vouching for the government and commenting on the strength of the government's case. Now, Diddy's indictment, imminent alleged trafficking victim's attorney claims that accuser's lawyer, victims, this is the title of something that came out by TMZ is what he's saying. Diddy indictment imminent, alleged trafficking victim's attorney claims. Okay, that was something that came out by TMZ. And again, he's saying that a victim's attorney gave them some information. Accuser's lawyer opining that Mr. Combs knows what's coming down. Okay, he knows it's only a matter of time. The clock is ticking. The walls are closing in, and sooner or later, he will be behind bars. Okay, then he references another one. Sean Diddy Combs arrested by federal agents in New York. NBC News. This was September the 17th, 2024. And this is from a lawyer for accuser commenting on Mr. Combs' arrest, stating that we knew this was coming. The evidence is very clear, and it was only a matter of time. Then there's another one he references. Sean Diddy Combs to remain in custody after judge denies bail appeal in racketeering conspiracy and trafficking case. This was a report from CNN, September the 18th on 2024. Okay. Then entertainment and Sean Diddy Combs' appeal bail denied Wednesday. Okay, accuser's attorney commenting on the strength of the government's evidence in support of motion for detention. So he's basically saying these attorneys are commenting on all this stuff, and they really have no business doing it. For the most part, the attorney that I keep seeing doing this stuff is Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Gloria Allred came out and did a press conference. Busby came out and did 2 press conferences talking about his clients and the accusations and people that are going to be called out and all of that. Like I told you guys, when he was doing that, he was recruiting for more victims to come forward because he had that 1-800 number. But also, it was like he basically was putting people on notice who may have been at those parties, who may have been involved, whose names he may already have. And so basically giving them the chance to hurry up and settle. Okay, because if you were a celebrity, you'd rather just go ahead and settle. You don't want all this stuff coming out, right? And so that's what he was doing. That's kind of a money grab. Okay. And I'm not talking about for the victims. I'm talking about for his law firm. If they come out and say, we're going to start calling names, we're going to start saying people did this and that, even if you were there, you didn't do anything, but you watched, we're going to come for you. Well, that's going to scare people. People are already nervous. That's why they're so quiet. So, of course, they're going to start trying to settle behind closed doors, as he's claimed that they've already started to do. So that's what that strategy was all about. Now, then it goes on to say, I'm going to skip some of this because he has a whole lot of stuff where these attorneys have been talking, allegedly. So, as counsel for witness in this case, these lawyers are prohibited from making statements under Local Rule 23.1. Okay. Moreover, because these statements undoubtedly threaten Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial and no other remedies exist, this court should exercise its discretion in issuing an order requiring all potential witnesses, pay attention, and their counsel to refrain from making extrajudicial statements that have a substantial likelihood to interfere with Mr. Combs' trial or otherwise prejudice the due administration of justice. We further request that the court direct those potential witnesses and their counsel to remove, listen to this, to remove all online postings under their control that would offend the local rule. And then he references another case, United States versus Perriman of 2013. Okay, so granting requests to direct police department to remove certain comments posted on its website. Okay, so here's what he's saying. Now, these attorneys, even though they've been out here running their mouths and all of that, he wants them to go back and now, if they can, remove the postings of anything that they've said, because he said it's not fair. It's giving Diddy a hard time being able to have a fair trial. And then he said with this other case, United States versus Perriman, the judge granted a request to direct the police department to remove certain comments that they posted on their website because the police department wasn't even supposed to do it. So that is up to the judge. Now, it's not that the judge has to do it. It's up to their discretion. Okay. So anyway, it goes on to say, hold on, I lost my place. Okay, so goes on to say, in addition to the extent the government has directed or authorized such extrajudicial statements contrary to its own obligation to ensure a fair trial, we request that the court direct the government to disclose such communications. So they want to know what all the government has as far as hold on. In addition to the extent the government has directed or authorized such extrajudicial statements contrary to its own obligations to ensure a fair trial, we request that the court direct the government to disclose such communications. Okay, saying that society wins not only when the guilty are convicted, but when criminal trials are fair. Our system of administration of justice suffers when any accused, is treated unfairly. Okay, so he's basically saying if the government has any communications from these attorneys that shouldn't be or shouldn't have been given or whatever, not the witnesses or the accusers, but the attorneys that shouldn't have been given, then they should have to disclose that information as well. Okay, finally, this request is time sensitive. Okay, we don't have time to tarry. Y'all need to hurry up and shut these people down, shut them up, make them remove all the stuff from online because we don't have time for this. This is what he said. Finally, this request is time sensitive. Each day that passes brings a fresh wave of publicity, often at the direction of accusers and their counsel, further prejudicing Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. Therefore, we respectfully request that any response be filed on October the 30th on October the 30th of 2024. So they have 7 days to respond, according to him. That's what he wants. That's how he wants it to all go down. And remember, I told you the other day that Judge Furman, Jesse M. Furman, basically said that he gave them to the 25th to stop using the pseudonyms. Okay. So let me just tell you all what this all sounds like to me. Let me tell you what this sounds like to me. Okay. Miss AP said this is bigger than Nino Brown. Right. Okay. But here's what this sounds like. Sophie said, do y'all see how fast the queen going through this live. She's on a roll. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so here's the thing. They're basically saying that these people saying all these things and putting all these things out there in front of the public is just not right. Diddy also doesn't know who these accusers even are, some of them, because there are a lot of John Does and Jane Does. How can you formulate a defense strategy when you don't know who these people are? Now, of course, his attorneys will find all of this out during the period of discovery, but shouldn't they be able to know this stuff right now? I mean, what do you guys think? Now, of course, y'all know I can't stand Diddy, but at the end of the day, he does deserve a fair trial. That's what every American citizen is entitled to by the rule of law. Okay? So, and here's the question that you should ask yourselves. You see, at the end of the day, the bottom line is Diddy is a black man. Diddy is a black man. Now, if Diddy was not black, do you think they'd be allowing all of this? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they would or wouldn't. Just ask yourselves. Have we ever had this go down with Harvey Weinstein? Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Belinda said, Diddy, rack your brain to remember. I'm sure he can, especially if all of this is true. If most of it's true. OG Patrice said, if they keep on, Diddy will get off on a technicality. Ding, 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 ding. Exactly. Okay, y'all need to pay attention. Y'all need to pay attention because here's the thing. This could go to trial, and then Diddy's defense team could have a mistrial. Okay? You never know. Things could come into play. You have to be very careful with this type of case. And also, I want you all to pay attention as well because Diddy's team has already accused the feds of leaking information. They have accused the feds of leaking the video about Cassie. Now, I hope the feds didn't do that. I'm telling you right now, I hope the feds didn't do that because I told you guys in the first place that I, in fact, thought that Cassie's attorneys leaked that footage so that if there were anything that could incriminate Cassie, that could possibly make her, a co-conspirator or unindicted co-conspirator or what have you, and then try to discredit her in some way as if she were a participant, a willing participant. I felt like they put that video out to show that no, she was not a willing participant. She was coerced, she was threatened, she was intimidated, she was beaten, assaulted. I felt like that's why her attorneys did it because that would make sense. I told you guys if the feds did that, if they leaked it like everybody was saying, and now his attorneys are accusing them of, if they did that, that's not good. Because I told you the feds could be held liable. They're not supposed to be releasing certain things. And even when you think about it, now, a couple of the agents have allegedly come out and said stuff about the raids and whatnot, but they did so anonymously. Now, I want you to think about that. They're anonymously out here saying stuff. And of course, I'm glad they said some of it because at the end of the day, we reported on it. We got more information that we may not have been privy to. But at the end of the day, should they really have been, anonymously given information? Probably not. Okay, Exact says Diddy's lawyers are now playing chess. Smart move. Yes, they are. Yes, they absolutely are. Okay, but see, I told you guys that Ariel Mitchell Kid, when she was saying all that stuff and she was on Dish Nation so many times back to back, I told you guys, I said, this lady's looking like it's a clout chase. And here's another thing that makes me think, just makes me question her ethical practices. Because she was up there talking about somebody showed her the video, remember? And they were asking her if she would help them peddle the video, the FO footage. Basically saying they were asking her to help them to sell it to somebody or something or get it to this person to see if the person wanted to buy it because the person was supposedly in the video. And she's sitting on this interview on News Nation acting like she's a YouTuber or somebody. I mean, I just thought it was unprofessional. That's just me. When she sit up there saying, yeah, they were asking me, and she's laughing about it. And she's saying they were asking me if I can help them. I told them, no, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I saw it. It looked like the person was looking in the camera. She should not have been doing any of that. I thought it was so foolish. Now, of course, I'm going to report on it because that's my job. But at the end of the day, I told you guys that it just looks like she's clout chasing. Why is she coming out here with all of this? And I was wondering, why would she even, admit that she saw this tape and that somebody was asking her to help them peddle it? That just sounds crazy to me. Okay, that crazy bitch Eric said she was a hot arse mess. Yes. And so what she has now done, in my opinion, what she has now done is given Diddy's attorneys, a good arguments. She's given them a very good argument. And let me just remind you guys, and I told you this on yesterday, and I showed you the paperwork to prove it. And I want you to pay attention because everybody doesn't have this paperwork. Okay? Everybody doesn't have this paperwork that I showed you today or the paperwork that I showed you yesterday. So please pay attention. I work hard for the receipts. That's all I'm saying. And that's why y'all gonna get this, that's why y'all gonna get these likes up. Okay, that's why y'all gonna get these likes up because I'm showing you guys paperwork that everybody doesn't have. We can all go on Pacer and find those, legal docs and all of that. But at the end of the day, everybody's not showing this paperwork and breaking this stuff down to you, okay, doing a whole legal analysis, all right? Because everybody's not educated on the law, first of all. Okay, but with that all being said, let's not forget the Queen went to school for criminal justice. But Exec said, right, Queen, she's given Diddy's attorneys ammunition. Yes. And let's not forget that I showed you all the paperwork yesterday, and I told you how they're going to refile for another, they're going to have another appeal. Okay, they're going to try again for appeal, or not for an appeal, for a bail. Okay, they're going to try to get Diddy bail again, and they're currently in the throes of putting together another bail package. Not the one they took the last 2 times, but they're putting together a whole new package. Okay? So please pay attention. Above all that drama said, our queen is cooking, honey. Well, let me cook. Thank you, beloved. All right. Durana said, speak, queen. Thank you. Pissy Lola said, make them pause, queen. Okay. So Miss AP said, why was a 13-year-old in a VMA after party having drinks at an unattended by parents? New lawsuits that came out a few weeks ago on Diddy. Well, I did talk about that yesterday. You see, when I went over the lawsuits yesterday, before I was just reading you all what was in the articles, but I actually went over the lawsuits yesterday. So basically, the reason she was there, because that's the first thing I asked, where's her parents? Who allowed a 13-year-old to go to an after party with grown people? Remember I said that? Well, so apparently she was dropped off by one of her friends who's clearly older than her at the time, dropped off there. And then she lied to her parents about where she was going, apparently, because she said that she had to call her father to come and get her and then admit to him that she lied about her whereabouts. So that's what that is. Okay, so that's what that is. So anyway, we're going to see how this all turns out. Above all that drama said, and where the hell is his adopted child, his adopted white child? Well, that is still a mystery. Okay, that is still a mystery. So anyway, listen, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because we've got to get into it. The next live starts in 4 minutes. Okay, so by the time the song ends on here, the next live will be starting. Okay, Overthought says prosecutors submitted a DVD after the last filings. They're not getting a technicality. LOL, bro is cooked. Well, here's the thing, Overthoughts. This is what you have to pay attention to. This is what you have to pay attention to. In any trial, people can have all the evidence they want. If somebody does something that's inappropriate as far as, that doesn't follow the letter of the law, you absolutely can get a technicality, honey. It don't matter about your evidence, okay? There's mistrials declared all the time. And why do you think mistrials are declared? Because somebody did something they weren't supposed to do. Okay, so these lawyers who are out here running their mouths need to be real careful. And specifically, I'm talking about attorney Ariel Mitchell Kidd. She needs to stop going out here doing all these interviews and saying all this stuff or whatever because she's doing too much. All right, she should be sitting there, getting her clients together, getting all of their information, getting her strategy together that she's going to use. At the end of the day, all this other stuff is it is a carnival at this point. It is a whole circus full of clowns. They're right. And Samantha said Queen got the receipts and the breakdown. Thank you, beloved. Exact said that's absolutely correct, Queen. Thank you. Okay. Andrew said people just think of the stuff he did to kids. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we don't want him to get off on a technicality. That's why we don't want him to get out on bail. If Diddy gets out on bail, I'm here to tell you right now, people are going to be nervous. Okay. Now, they've already said he's been tampering with witnesses, and y'all don't think he hasn't been? He sat there and called Kalina Harper like over 82 times. Didn't they say there was like 82 to 100 plus contacts? So what do you think he was doing? Talking to her about the weather? And this was all after Dawn Richard filed her lawsuit. So we do not want him getting off on a technicality. So the BS and the foolishness and the clout chasing, needs to stop. These attorneys need to follow the rule of law 23.1. Okay, that says they're not supposed to be out here doing all this. Okay, so that's just what it is. DJ Big Six said, Queen, keep cooking. You know I will, beloved, and I'm about to cook on Kabami next. All right? And Trump too. Because there's some stuff I'm about to go in on Trump about. Okay, and so with that all been said, Pensacola said, Diller got people in these streets still. Yes, let's not forget that he does. Okay, Andrew said, basically to try to pay off people. Yeah, you never know what he's going to do. Okay, Sophie B said, plus come up missing. Exactly. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And I hope to see you all in the next broadcast starting right after this. Until next time, beloveds, listen. Each one, teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got